We're going to start with the creme brulee recipe because you will need to make this at least 24 hours in advance so it has a proper amount of time to set up in your refrigerator. We're going to start by taking 1 quart of heavy cream and we're going to gently heat that until it comes to a simmer. We're not going to boil it, but we are going to bring it to a simmer. We're also going to add to that 1 pinch of sea salt and 2 tablespoons of vanilla bean paste. However, looking back, I think you could add maybe up to 4 and it would have turned out better. You should have 8 eggs already out at this point, coming up to room temperature. Now when that comes to a simmer, we're going to take it off the heat for about 10 minutes. While that's cooling, we're going to start cracking open those room temperature eggs, and we only want the yolks. So if you do not have a yolk strainer, you can pass it back and forth between 2 halves of the shell until you get rid of as much of the egg white as you can. You might have to pull some of it away like that. But eventually you will have it clean, and then you can just dump that into 3/4 cups of white granulated sugar. Once you have all 8 of the egg yolks in there, and these are large eggs, you need to start mixing it into the sugar. And you might find it more useful to use a whisk at some points, or you might find it more useful to use a flat spatula. So have the tools available that you think you'll need. You're going to be whisking for a while because we got to get this into a uniform, creamy texture. And you'll see a color change, and you'll see how it folds differently as you're stirring it. You want it to get to the ribbon stage, so it's coming off of your spatula in sort of like a ribbon formation. When you get it like that, this is the most difficult part of the recipe. We're going to have to temper our egg mixture. So we're taking this hot cream that's cooled for at least 10 minutes and we're adding it in. But we have to add it very slowly or it'll start cooking the eggs and it will almost become like scrambled eggs, and then it will be ruined. So we're going to start with just a splash, and we're going to be stirring constantly, whisking constantly. A little splash and then some more. And as you go, you can start adding it more quickly. But be very gentle because we want this to turn into a fine sort of a silky custard and not like cooked eggs. And by the end you can add it even a little bit more quickly, and you can see the texture and appearance of what we have here. Now we're going to make this even more fine and silky by running it through a metal sieve, a very fine metal sieve. And what this does is this is going to remove any of the solids that might be from the vanilla bean paste or from any of the egg yolk that or egg white that might have gotten in, or if any of our egg cooked a little bit because we heated it too fast during the temper. This sieve should remove those solids, and you can see here what it's done. Now we have enough to do 4 10-ounce ramekins, and this is a very generous portion. So we are going to evenly fill up all 4 of them. Now, at this point you should have your bain-marie ready, and that is the water bath. These are going to cook in the oven at 325 degrees, but they need to be resting in a pool of, in a bath of water. And you see what I've done here with this large deep skillet. So they are in this hot water bath. This is what they look like halfway through. And this is when I started to worry that maybe I should have tinted the water bath a little bit to protect it from direct heat. I don't know. But after They cook for 45 to 55 minutes, and you can see that they should be jiggly and like not quite set up jello. So I think I did all right. Now they go in the fridge covered for 24 hours. And when you take them out, you might see some condensation. This is going to make it hard for the sugar to caramelize like we want it to. So if we have to, we're going to pat this dry. So we should be doing this maybe 10 to 20 minutes before this is going to be served. So if that's at the end of the meal, then you might have to excuse yourself to get these ready for your guests or whatever you're doing. Now we're just going to cover this in the turbinado sugar. So you'll just need to have as much on hand as you think you'll need. We want to get an even coat though, in terms of coverage across the surface area, but also the depth of the coverage. We don't want it to be too deep. Now, we're going to burn the sugar. And just work your way around in little circles like that. Depending on the size of your torch, this could take more or less time. But just keep working it, and eventually you'll get to this stage, and then you can stop. Now you need to let it rest for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be ready to serve.